Hi, this is me, Lieutenant from Nerdimations, and I am back. Now, you may not have not seen the second video, but I'll quickly explain what happened there. So first the Haudenosaunee fought the Lenape/Delaware tribe, and uh, and Cahokia continued declining. Normal stuff. Happens to the best of us. Anyways, you can see that the map has been updated. I've made the region. I've drawn the North American, and I'm planning to do the same for the South American cultural regions. And I updated the cultures map because I misplaced the Cree populations. But anyways, let's begin. And because today we have some special stuff. Okay. First, the Haudenosaunee, after their invasion of the Lenape, that you will never learn what actually happened in, and they decided to continue. They ransacked more of their neighbors, and I think this is the Narragansett, or is that the Narragansett? No, that's the. I'm forgetting most of these. But anyways, he's especially the would be the current and Haudenosaunee, and we're on a roll. And they were also beginning to develop cities. For example, in the Seneca regions, Seneca City was founded. Seneca City was kinda not officially the capital. Well, and other towns were appearing. Cities big enough that they were special in the eyes of the Haudenosaunee. Most of these were located in the west, us with a few being in the eastern regions, specifically the Oneida, whose population was booming. In the Oneida boom. Also, you can notice the Haudenosaunee and major cities pretty much ended around here, around this region. And in the south, this was due to Susquehanna, Delaware, and other tribes raiding in the southern region, and the Mohawks still didn't yet have full control over it. They were still pretty powerful, though. In this area, so even though they hadn't established cities yet, they still didn't have much to worry about. But something else was brewing. You see, this is the map of basically where the main North American foods back at this time. There is I think this is squash, yellow is corn, orange is potatoes, and there should be another one that is showing beans. It's okay, it's green, but you can't see it. Squash, corn, and beans were the main food source of a lot of the Americas, and at least one of these were consumed in large amounts in most of the more developed of the Native American societies. But recently, it turns out that Leif Erikson had and his team had left something else: oats. Oats quickly they came into some prominence, but they were mostly known as a wild plant, and in the southern regions as a weed. With the Haudenosaunee especially having to deal with them in their crops of corn. It's oats. Take out the oats. But one specific group of corn. Why did I call it? Did I call it a batch? Was able to escape. say, escape containment, where it entered the West, the Salish region specifically, and this would be monumental. If you don't know the western parts of the North America were extremely cool, and and the main thing that kept them from making large countries like in the rest of North America was mainly due to the fact that they relied purely on fishing and hunting and gathering. Remember, the reason why all of these states are so successful is because they have at least some type of agriculture. For example, the Cadoans, who are, yes, a real group of people. So, bringing in oats to this region is pretty much a game changer, similar to bringing horse, sheep, and pigs to the east and central regions of America. And here, I'm guessing that states would sprout up at record speed. The first Salish states, it's mostly arm due to the accessibility of trading of the accessibility of oats. Oats are oats Oats quickly become popular as a food source because, unlike in the east and central regions, there is no other easy source of food. Quickly, the locals grow accustomed to using once they realize that it can be used for agriculture. This basically causes a whole new group of civilizations to grow on the other side from basically everyone else. On the Salish in the Salish Sea, major powers rise, and one of them will soon be one of the most powerful countries this continent will ever see. They call themselves the Silex, led by the kings in the Silex region, and who'd left for lands where fishing was even more accessible. They slowly would change their name to the Salish, and would get. By the way, this migration never actually happened in real life. Heck, nothing else here happened in real life. I wish it did. Salish states would fear the Silex. And we'll see what they do in the next episode. But besides them, let's see what Mexico is doing. Ever since the new power balance was built between countries who had horses and countries who didn't, now there wasn't mostly nothing new occurring. Sure, there is the Mexica doing whatever the Mexica do. But for now, the states just continue warring. Besides, with the Jalisco and Pasha. If I ever release the file for the second video, remember that you'll know that these two were near the end of war, the beginning of war. And that war begins right now. The Jalisco will begin their front as soon as they could, trying to gain an upper hand. They attacked many small states eats continuously. We taking small all province, small city after small city. Yalesko was nearly able to outcompete the Parapasha. Meanwhile, the Parapasha were doing the same thing, destroying tiny city-states. It's or rather puppetizing them so that they could gain an upper hand on the Jalisco. What remained in this region we now call Guadalajara was the Pasha, the Jalisco, and the small city states in the south, which were slowly but surely coalescing themselves to because you just have to copy the people you're scared of, right? Yeah, that's a bad joke. So now, with four major powers in the region and the Jalisco, there was little stuffed left that they wouldn't have to compete with each other for. Sure, they could go to the west, to the east, but but recently a coalition had formed, or due to the expansion of the Parapasha, led actually by a warrior who had fled from one of the northern city states and had couped the government of another one, or rather, and by coup I mean he just married the king's only daughter, and just had to wait until the king died, and then his wife died. Wow, very very violent. The Burbasha prepared an attack on Jalisco itself, with the plan to finish it off as fast as possible. They began in mid 1342. Marching through the mountains that the Jalisco had little to no experience in. The Jalisco were although quickly stopped the Parapasha because remember those horses. The Jalisco then attacked back, but due to losing the advantage after going past the coastal plains, they mostly stopped. The war was in a stalemate by 1344, and there was no signs of the war ending. Every day, hundreds of soldiers were sent into the front lines of a war that neither side had thought they could win until 1346, when the Parapasha launched a huge invasion of the Jalisco and finally destroyed them. Well, not fully destroyed, but rather forced them into being a puppet, too. Oh, don't you hate it when that happens, huh? Me too. What remained of the Jalisco state quickly began to fracture, as the leadership in the country fell apart. Alright, what remained loyal to the old chief was now a backwater, and the Parapasha were planning on further expansions. Now, with most of the region of Guadalajara under their rule. And finally, some Andean drama. I haven't touched the South American map, but it seems like Chinchilla, or is it? I don't know how to pronounce these. He's decided to go on a massive destruction spree. Goal? All destroy. Oh yeah, destroy everyone. Let's see how good they did on that one. They did it amazing, just truly awesome. Yeah, they were barely able to subjugate anyone, anyone, and by the time they planned on actually taking some of the best lands in the Andes, is a larger group of forces had is from different states had all come together. Or in 1335, and in 1336 they'd go to fight the Shimura, I think, and they won, one quit, one beat. Oh, and also one of the kingdom just couldn't and to not pass up the chance of taking more kingdoms for themselves. Anyways, thank you. You'll see what happens in episode 4. Sorry for the lack of an episode 2, and good.